Coming to you live from Shahgudaru, Pakistan. We're here with the 24th edition of the ESL Pro Tour Open Cup Asia. I'm your host, Yakuzaku, and with me today I have El Professor Chiflado himself, Light_VIP. How we doing, Light?
What's up, Yaku? It's been too long.
It has. Or has, should I say.
Has did not sign up. And well, it's been 2 weeks. We've been going from here, but we're finally back. You know, all the DreamHack qualifiers are done. I actually finished casting them this morning. I am
just
still
12
awake.
hours ago, didn't they?
It was like 6 hours ago, but it's fine.
Well, I mean, you know, when they started is what I...
Yeah.
But that is not going to be stopping us here, because for now, we're going to be jumping in onto Everdream LE, ideally Edle, where in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spotting in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we do in fact have our red Protoss coming down all the way from the land of Korea. He is representing Generic Green Wings. We have Creator. Go ahead.
And spotting in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the Korean Terran player representing Team NV. It is Grace.
Or Grace.
I don't know if that's accurate. Okay.
It's all perspective. So yeah, perspective. I was waiting for you to tell me, nope, it's not actually the generic creator. Because I just realized this, Light. He's using his actual handle. He's not using a barcode.
Oh, it's the first time.
That's why it seems so off, yeah.
Oh god, yeah. For the longest time, creator used just used a barcode. You know, this may be Kuro's doing. I know the last time we casted him, Kuro's like, why is he not? She was like very upset as well. She's like, why is he not using his actual account? Like, he has one. He ladders on it. Like, what's going on? And she may have just like, you know, cracked the whip on creator.
Slapped him. It's like, what are you doing?
I mean, she is like his head mod on
Don't you understand branding? She is. He and half of the other Korean pros.
Pretty much.
Except for Solar.
Rip.
That's a big rip.
But honestly, I miss this. I really do. I've been you know, in the land of sea and Latin America, and
yeah, it really became apparent to me just how much I really miss this sort of region, right? I feel like, I know what it is. I feel like these are the players that I really get hyped for.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as to say that. I'd probably get more hype for, like, I get really excited for Latin America or C. But for here, like, it's just a little bit refreshing because they play so differently. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's a nice, like, you know,
it is as well.
Yeah.
And speaking of a refresher here, is Marine ain't gonna live.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. I mean,
Smoker finishes up. Oof.
Oh, okay, nicely done. So, the CC does finish up just in time. It would have been a shame if the Adept got here a couple of seconds earlier and denied the natural from going down. So it does finish up, and you know, minimal damage will be done here. At the same time, we do have Creator going for a pretty standard blink opener.
Yeah, only one gate for the time being. He's more likely going to be using this more of a, I'll see what I can get away with this blink rather than a big dedicated opening. Grace, on the other hand, went for a 2-1 so far. We'll see if he gets that third one up. Nope, that's a 3 racks.
Yep. So I've been seeing a lot of this even in the other regions. We got a 3 racks, we got a factory. We're going to be seeing a big tank push. We're going to be seeing some SCVs pulled as well to throw down bunkers. This is going to hit hard.
It's going to hit hard and fast, to say the least. And will Creator have enough by the time this comes up? He needs to realize it. He needs to get this Adept in. It's Grace is doing such a good job of denying that scouting that I don't think Creator is going to be able to get Immortals out in time.
Yeah,
or any other unit.
I mean, a big part of this is once you realize what's happening, especially since Creator went for Blink Stalkers, you need to be out in the middle of the map or out at the the natural of your opponent with your Blink Stalkers and slowly chip away at the army as it moves across the map. So you can slow it down, you can whittle it down, and it doesn't hit anywhere near as hard. But this is a problem because Creator still doesn't know what's coming.
It really is. Now sending out the Phoenix out, and this is going to be Creator's reaction is going to have to be perfect on the second to react to this.
Yeah, it's gonna be immediate. He's got to realize what's coming and then just... Yeah.
And... Alright, Phoenix goes in. Phoenix has a good look. What is he going to throw down? Immediately starts up Immortal Production. That's a good response coming out. A little bit worried that we don't see any shield batteries still.
Yeah, shield batteries, especially with Overcharge now, do so well. And I just realized that we haven't casted an ESL Open Cup Asia with the new patch.
Exactly. This is going to be pretty wild. I mean, the Latin American players have been experimenting quite a bit on this new patch, but it's... I don't know, it still feels like it's on that experimenting stage, right?
Yeah, and I love this. See, already the Blink Stalkers are already across the map, chipping away at this army, blinking back and forth, kiting as best they can, as much as they can, and behind this, Immortals are on the way. We've got Charge Lots on the way as well. Already, so much damage is being done by these Stalkers.
Yeah, one by one, picking apart these Marines. These SCVs actually not going to be able to act as the buffer that they want. That was a very nice grenade out, but the Blink makes sure that these SCVs do not body block the Stalkers. Where is the rest of the Creator's army? They are right in front of the natural. Grace looked to be going for that third base, but is in fact going straight for the throat here. Fantastic force field there, just about as perfect as you can get. But these shield batteries are still far from being done, and they're actually getting killed. No cancels.
And Grace has to be so careful because at any moment those Stalkers in the middle of the map could just go behind and snipe the tanks, or actually opting to go for reinforcements instead.
Alright, Grace is starting to move on forward. Playing a very delicate dance right now, just trying to get these tanks in as best a position they can get. These bunkers are not being allowed to get up, but these Immortals can't really do much aside from that. These Stalkers, which look to be going across the map, are just kind of chilling here. They are starting to blink backwards, and this might not be the best timing, but a perfect surround. The reinforcements are on its way. These SCVs are not able to repair this bunker up enough, and Creator has held this.
Yeah, he's done more.
GG's called.
GG's called.
Creator takes game number 1.
Yeah, that was a perfect response. He didn't scout it until quite late with his hallucination Phoenix, but the response was perfect. It immediately starts Immortal Production, goes across the map with all of his Blink Stalkers. You could definitely argue that he could have thrown down his shield batteries a little bit earlier. He tried to get them up and they immediately got shelled down by the tanks, but that was pretty solid.
In the end, it didn't even matter.
Yeah, that was really well done, and
might have helped, but didn't matter.
And I don't really know what you're meant to do as the Terran player in that situation when this kind of all-in gets scouted. I think I've seen a couple of Terran players, they end up sieging and leapfrogging with their tanks across the map instead. The
answer is micro.
that also
Just
helps.
Play like Maru forehead.
It's true.
No, but I really do think that as a Terran player, when you're put in that position, it really is do or die. You have to execute. You have no second chances left. Get it down perfectly, or try again in the next game.
Yeah. Pretty much. And there are definitely things that could have been done. I've seen a couple of Terran players even deny hallucinated Phoenix scouts as best they can as well.
Absolutely.
It's hard to do, but it can be done.
Yeah. It's playing like Moru forehead. Nah, I'm kidding. I feel like that's more of a TY play. A TY big brain. They're going to send out the Phoenix out now. So I have to have the units in position.
Mara wouldn't do this, okay? It's got one base too many, alright?
But, speaking of getting one base too many, this is the man, who's gone for 3 bases as a Protoss player that last game. Well, I guess in PvT you can do that. I'm thinking more of I feel like I've been watching too many PvP, so in my head it's yeah, Protoss should never go for a second base. But regardless, we are here We are up onto Eternal Empire, LE, EELE, Ile. I feel like these two players really do like their LE, or their whatchamacallit acronyms. In the top right-hand corner map, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have our red Protoss coming down all the way from Seoul, the mecca of esports. Chilling at the Jinner house, he is representing Jinner Green Wings, but red, it's Creator.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the Korean Terran player representing Team NV. It is Grace.
Every time I hear NV, I just wanna... In my head, I hear the us at the end.
Oh, yeah. Are they still a team?
Not in StarCraft, definitely not in StarCraft, but I do believe they have a contender team in Overwatch. I think
Violet was on
Call of Duty and stuff.
Violet was on Envious, right?
Yeah, Violet and Pult before he retired.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've heard that. I'm surprised it like sparked in my mind. Like, oh yeah, Violet was on that. Wow, it's been
all
so
the
long.
associations make.
Yeah, like when was the last time Violet even played? It's been years, right? Like, oh god.
It has. Oh. We seem to be stirring a little bit on my end. How's it holding up?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully things clear up. Are you good?
Well, I'm whatchamacallit, stuttering.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's on my end though. I would blame Blizzard servers personally, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, you can always check your ping to see if it's your internet, and if it's not, it could be something else.
Yep. That's advice to everyone watching right now.
Yeah, I think just Control Alt F just to see, just in case. But yeah, we are heading into another pretty standard TVP. I'm interested to see what Grace does this game. If he goes for something similar, if he goes for something different instead. How many racks is it going to be thrown down? Will he go for a 1-1-1? Oh,
apparently.
Yeah.
Alright, and so this is going to be a much more standard Terran opening coming out from Grace. Is the Reaper still alive? I haven't checked. Yep, it is still alive. So Hellion should be meeting up with that. Going to be going in for the scout, and whether Grace has something planned or whether Grace is playing more reactive, I guess, is to be determined.
Yeah, and with this starting Widowmine, I imagine we're going to be seeing a Widowmine drop.
I'm waiting for the armory light. You cannot. I cannot tell you. I've been doing that quite a bit lately with in my own TVPs. Now, unfortunately, I feel like Protoss players in general open up with observers nowadays, which they used to not do. So it's not. So yeah, I'm not forcing the Protoss player to go down a route that they wouldn't want, as opposed to what it was like back in the day. But yeah, you have no idea how happy I am when I see that red dot come up on the Widow Mines. You
know what, Yaku, power to you, trying to bring back this hashtag Singapore meta and just doing whatever. It's great. It's great to hear. I've yet to see it in any competitive play, I'll be honest. I haven't seen it at all, but you know, there's always a first time for everything.
Oh, I've seen it once. I believe it was either in the ANZ qualifiers or the NA qualifiers. Maybe it was, I want to say, no, it probably wasn't the Latin America qualifiers, because I don't think any Terran players played that, but I have seen it happen once, but it wasn't just an armory being thrown down. There was also a tech lab and drilling claws. So the drop itself was delayed, but because of the drilling claws, the Protoss player had much less time to react and ended up losing basically his entire mineral line.
I'll be honest, this sounds like something that Hut would do. This sounds like...
I think it probably was Hut.
Yeah, like if anyone's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. And here comes Widowmine drop, only gets a single... Oh god, the medevac!
Only gets a single probe, and that medevac does not live. I tell you what, Light, this would not have happened if an armory was down.
This would not have happened if it hit a minute later and then there was an armory down. You know what?
And drilling claws, yeah. Now, I don't claim to be a psychic, but if it was an hour later...
Yeah, this is accurate. And we'll see how things go, as you know, Grace did go for that 1-1-1, got minimal damage, minimal scouting as well. So Creator so far is in a pretty good position, kind of transitioning into this more standard like Zealot +1 melee style, which, you know, we've seen many Protosses do. Again, I'm kind of curious how Grace does. Like, we haven't really mentioned Grace much at all this cast, but we've casted Grace before, and he's kind of like an amateur player. You know, he's you know, laddering, he's placing fairly well. He plays in the Lima League.
Yeah, I think a term that used to be thrown down for players like Grace back in the day was ladder hero, except I guess that doesn't really apply here because Grace also does play in online events a lot.
Yeah, it's I remember there used to be a term we used to have like a code B player back when that was more of a thing. Yeah, and even that,
I guess dishwasher was the more derogatory term for them.
Well, it was basically players that couldn't get into code A. But code A isn't a thing anymore, so it's like But yeah, like players like Grace, players like Chance, Percival, Control, right? Like this is like, hopefully, as long as they like continue to play the game and continue to improve, like this is like the next generation of players, right? So it's kind of cool to see a glimpse of that and you know, see them early on and see how well they do, especially against some of these already like established pros.
Especially considering that about a year, okay, I don't want to say a year ago, but quite a while ago, we had players like Zaun, right? Players like Prince, who we casted these online events, who never really made it into the more offline stuff, whether it be GSL or Super Tournament or stuff. And now we actually do get to see them in Code S.
Yeah, Prince is the big one, right? Like Prince, like you, some people are talking about Zaun, like, oh, who's Zaun? I mean, Zaun was on SKT
back in the day.
Exactly. Like people who talk about Zaun and didn't watch Pro League, okay? Like Zaun was on SKT.
I didn't watch a lot of Pro League, and even I knew that. But
exactly,
then again, I'm also an SKT fanboy, so.
Like Zaun has been around. He wasn't competitive too much, but like he was a practice partner. He was on the Kespa team. But Prince didn't have any of that. He just you know, straight up ladder hero. Yeah.
There's that armory.
Meanwhile, there's a drop to the north, hitting that new base of Creator.
Yeah, it gets deflected, but it does provide a little bit of pressure on top of Creator. These units that are here, they could have been warped in on the other side of the map, hitting Grace harder. So that's always something to consider. Grace is starting to move out. And this is the exact wrong timing for that. The minute that goes in, Creator swoops in for that third base.
He's not turning around.
He's not. He's dedicated.
Oh my god.
And what a time to stutter. What a time for this stutter.
Yeah, and I don't think this is the right time for this. Like, oh god, we're going into a complete base trade, and Grace was nowhere near the other side of the map, so Creator is already so far ahead.
Takes out an insane amount of SCVs. Grace is now starting to hit this fourth base, and it is pretty potent, I'll give him that. But look at all of these, look at what the units that Creator has, or the resources Creator has, is supply block, so won't be able to warp in defenses anytime soon. But that should be easily dealt with. We are in the full-on base trade mode now.
Oh god, and I just want to give the extra Creator, like, look at the supplies. Like, Creator had just such a big... Yeah, he had such a big head start, and, I mean, Grace is doing some damage as well, which is nice, but there is always a recall available.
That there is. These probes just chilling down. Now, a lot of these structures are starting to get depowered for Creator. Which, again, he still has that recall available to him, so it's not the end of the world. He does need to utilize it soon, though, because Grace is really making ground. He's about to get a foothold into the main base of Creator, the only place that has a Nexus left. And if he recalls right on top of the army, that could... Those couple of seconds where Creator's army takes damage but isn't actually able to reciprocate, that could spell danger.
Yeah, it definitely could, and we'll see what Creator opts to do, whether he will even decide to go for a recall or just completely abandon the base, as the army of Creator
back.
Yeah,
looking to sandwich beautiful storms. And by beautiful, I mean painful.
Yeah, and just like that, everything gets cleaned up.
And Creator is gonna advance to face Special in the next round of ESL Open Cup Pro Tour. I don't know why I keep saying that. Pro Tour Asia.
GG, well played. And before we do get set up, do you want to mess with your settings or something, just in case, just to see if it helps with your stuttering?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if it will. But...
tool real quick. Special is on Exxon, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
The Exxon Mobil team.